This is a short film about the rising of the underclass, discussing how their characteristics are perceived and its effects on society. The underclass can be defined as a subculture within society which suffers from extreme poverty, often resulting in transgressive or criminal behaviour to gain basic life necessities. It is a segment of the population that occupies the lowest possible position in a class hierarchy, below the core body of the working class. Integration into mainstream society can be seen as challenging for individuals living in an underclass lifestyle, causing them to detach from society and develop a feeling of normlessness or anomie, often leading to delinquency and criminal activity. Gunnar Myrdal is credited as the first advocate of developing the term underclass. His publications in the early 1960s on economic inequality in the US refer to a class of unemployed, unemployables, and underemployed, who are more and more hopelessly set apart from the nations at large, and do not share in its life, its ambitions, and its achievements. The underclass is vastly built upon sociological factors such as single parenthood, drug and alcohol abuse, and crime. From a new right ideological view, this social group are placed at the bottom of the social system, characterised and possibly to blame for their poverty due to their boundless deviant lifestyle. These families or individuals regularly rely on state benefits to help them out financially due to the increasing unemployment rates amongst them. On the political left, the underclass are perceived as being at risk of exclusion and have been driven out of a capitalist society. Murray, a new right theorist, took a behaviourist approach towards poverty, and his comprehension of the UK underclass contains three major propositions: illegitimacy, crime, and unemployment. Through Murray's invitation to the UK by the Sunday Times to investigate this culture, his theory and findings of the underclass crime development and its increase is seemingly accurate. Statistics show that between 1987 and 1992, property crime in England, it being one of the highest criminal offences around at that time, increased by 40%. Murray's view on illegitimacy was also habituated, with 19% of births out of marriage in 1987 plummeting to 30% in 1992. Unemployment rates in 1982 were 8.5%, peaking to its highest of 11.9% in 1984 and dropping slightly in 1992 to 10%. So as you can see, crime was steadily increasing in the UK, along with unemployment rates and the instability and breakdown of the family. Murray's view to the increasing underclass culture was that excessive state welfare payments were creating a dependency culture for those who don't want to work. For Murray, social welfare started out as a safety net for people in economic crisis, but has become essentially hijacked by a group of people with no intention of working. Murray also states that the underclass are defined by their behaviour. With these families, their homes are littered and the men in the family are unable to hold down a job. Drunkenness was found to be a common attribute, and the children grew up ill-schooled and ill-behaved, contributing to a disproportionate share of juvenile delinquents. His referral to men being able to hold down a job could root from single parenthood. If the male is brought up in a matrifocal family, a concept which Oscar Lewis adopts within his fieldwork of poverty, then the absence of the father deprives the boy of a male role model. This puts them at a disadvantage, growing up in an unstable family unit with no first-hand experience on how to behave in ordinary society. Due to the current situation regarding the cuts to welfare benefits, the concern that the underclass may resurface are increasing. The rise of social polarisation in the UK and the widespread segregation occurring in the social hierarchy currently are the root causes of the problem. Now, to stigmatise these groups and categorise them by status of wealth, income and employment has become a social phenomenon. Some groups are stereotyped as thugs and chavs. Both of these categories are viewed in modern-day Britain as demonic, causing havoc around local areas, and they are seen as a threat to other members of society. Media coverage has had a huge impact on society's perception of the underclass today. Tabloid newspapers attach a stigma to poorer areas, flaunting images over the websites and in the paper of the deprived area, full of litter, groups of teenagers all in dark hooded clothing and cigarette butts all over the floor. This is creating a moral panic amongst the viewers and members of the public, leading to a negative reaction whether a group identified as chavs or thugs are present. As you can see from this Daily Mail article, it states individuals within families do not operate in isolation, and the problems of one will affect another. The reinforcement within these families leads to one that is dysfunctional, as they are in a cycle of poor lifestyle and income, and it is likely that they will rebound off of each other because they have never experienced life outside of this group. But we cannot, although it occurs often, stereotype each family within the underclass as being the same, because although they fall into the same category, the background and the story behind the way they live differentiates in every situation, surely. As Murray said, some people choose not to work and claim welfare benefits, but some of the families have different explanations as to why they are in that situation in the first place. For example, physical or mental impairment. So, taking into account Murray's views and findings, the statistical data and the media coverage, are the underclass attached to a stigma as touts and criminals? This subculture is viewed so negatively mainly due to the amount of inferior publication. The demonisation of the working class has grown as a collective belief amongst ordinary society, proving to counterpart the political left view of the risk of social exclusion. The media fails to focus upon the story behind the underclass, and instead is feeding pessimistic cases to consumers in a capitalist society.